Mr. Mahdi Back Road Ministry coming at you live and direct from the Kia Optima Studios. Wanted to talk about something. They got the selections going on in New York, and a lot of stuff taking place in New York, especially with Asian attacks on the street. And the one African American brother running for mayor. And I want everybody to pay attention to this, how they kind of scripting this selection that's coming up. So I forgot the African American brother's name. I'm not really interested in the election in New York, but I forgot the brother's name. And his whole platform, from what I've been seeing, is, basically vote for me because I'm black. I come from the hood. I come from a single parent household, and I really need your vote because, I'm black. And outside of that, there's no policies. There's nothing that he's stating he's done for his community, because he probably was a councilman. I don't know. I'm going to get more information, but those details about what he plans on doing for the city of New York, what he's done for the African American community, is just, the same rhetoric and rigmarole. Vote for me. I'm black. I can give you my blackness. I'm from the hood. The same stuff, the same little skit that they put together. And then you have the Asian American candidate who, right now in New York, like I said, you got all these Asian attacks. And it's funny that I've been watching a lot of the videos. I've seen a couple of attacks where we're Caucasian, but most of the attackers have been African American. I just want to know if anybody's been paying attention to that most of your attackers have been African American, and you get an Asian American, African American running for mayor in New York. So quite strange that that's the early narrative as we come into this election. But, the big thing, with the people of color is voting for a person just because he's a person of color. That's not the merit for voting. Voting is with your conscience. And your conscience, in my opinion, is common sense. What has the person done for you, your family, your community over the past 10, 20 years? What are their track records? What have you seen them do? Physically, can you go out there and see work that they've done in the community? And the problem with us when it comes to voting is that we don't vote with our conscience. We don't even vote with common sense. We don't vote with any form of common sense. A lot of people voted for Biden over Trump just because they didn't like Trump. That's not a reason to vote for the other guy. What has Biden did in the last 10, 20 years? And he can't say, well, I was the vice president with Obama. I mean, it's not really a reason to vote for a person. So you got to have, some evidence of what the person has done prior to voting for that person. So, voting while black. A person is just black, vote for me, should not be a criteria for African Americans to vote for you. No. And the issue we have as African Americans now, this is an important election as far as the elections you should be voting in, things like mayor. We talk about city councilmen. These are some of the most important things that African Americans don't vote in. We waste all our time voting on garbage like the president, but we don't vote for city councilmen when your communities are falling apart, or the same city councilman has been in office for 1,000 years and nobody ever votes him out. And then we never really vote for mayor. We don't get behind a candidate who actually can do something for the community based on what we've seen him do. So, you got two candidates. Let's say the Asian American candidate has done more or is willing to do more for his community, and you can see it in his track record of what he's done in the community. Common sense would say, well, maybe he can do this for the entire city. Maybe he's willing to do this on a wider scale. Now, will he focus on his community more? Yes, he's supposed to. But you hope that he can do what he's done with his community on a wider scale. As far as the African American candidate, the same, but you got to see what this person has done in his community. But just sitting up there talking about, I'm black and I come from a single parent home, and I made it vote for me is not criteria for African Americans to vote for you. It's not criteria for Caucasian Americans to vote for you. You need a criteria. What have you done for me lately? That's the way you should vote. Do your research. What are 5 to 10 things this person has did in the last 10, 20 years? If they ain't did shit, then don't vote for them. If they haven't done anything that you physically have seen, don't vote for their ass. What the hell you voting for them for? So they can play politics with you and tell you the shoulda, woulda, couldas? Well, we shoulda, woulda, couldas and gonnas. Politicians love gonna. Look at all the stuff Biden said he was gonna do. Biden ain't did nothing. You got high gas prices. Look at how the gas prices is, and nobody's saying nothing about it. Gas was just almost down to $1.50. Now gas is almost $3. Why? Why is gas so high right now? Shoulda, woulda, couldas, and gonnas. Shoulda, woulda, couldas, and gonnas. So, you got to vote with common sense. And you got to vote in those elections that count. And for many people, the elections that they should be voting for, those city council elections and the mayoral election. But when you vote for mayor, you got to vote for somebody who you know is going to do something and has proven that they have done something already. And they continue to make progress. Not shoulda, woulda, coulda. You vote them in, they don't do a damn thing. Then you mad. Well, they didn't do what they said they were going to do. Well, what was your track record? It's like voting for Barack Obama to be president. Black people got mad because Barack didn't do everything he said he was going to do. Some black people just voted for him because he was black. And that's their whole talking point, where he was black. They have no other talking point on why they voted for Barack Obama. He was black. You ask them what Barack Obama did for them. He passed the health care bill. No, he didn't. That was Mitt Romney's bill. They were just waiting for a Democrat to get in office so they can pass the bill. But Mitt Romney and the Republicans created that bill. So he didn't create that bill. And actually, Hillary Clinton had started that campaign years prior. So he can't take credit for that bill. It's not his bill. It's not his bill. So he did nothing. Really, he did absolutely nothing while he was in tenure. He did absolutely nothing. Track record. Make sure you know a person's track record before you vote for them. And black people, stop voting for black folk just because they're black. It's not a criteria to vote for a black person. Just because they're black that doesn't mean anything for your community, because there's black politicians that have been driving our communities down for years. Look at some of your communities outside. Look at some of you folks that stay in the projects with your black councilman that ain't did shit for your project yet. Voting while black. Mr. Mahdi, peace and hair grease.